The day has finally come. Selena Gomez has released her first album in nearly 5 years. Rare is here, y'all, and we couldn't be more excited, which is why we've brought in our friends to chat all about it. First off, we have Krause joining us and Farai, Bennett. Both of you guys were at Selena's album release party last night. Farai still has his But this album, everyone cannot stop talking about it, and I know you guys are big fans of it, right?
The album is so good. I just want to put it out there.
It's so good. Bop after bop after bop. Like, there's nothing else but a bop.
Among the bops, though, is we also got a music video for Rare, which is amazing, in celebration of the big album release. She looks stunning, of course.
Amazing.
Well, it wouldn't be a album release here on the download unless we decoded some lyrics. And let's start with Rare, guys. And in case you missed it, here's a little look.
It feels like you don't care. Why don't you recognize I'm so rare? Always there. You don't do the same for me, that's not fair.
Katie, let's start with you because obviously you were at the fan Q&A last night. You're also a Selena stan. What do you think is the inspiration, or what do we know is the inspiration behind this song, Rare?
So the message behind this song is something that Selena said last night. It's something she wishes she could say to every single person out there. And it's really, don't settle for less than what you deserve. Even if someone else cannot see your magic, you know you still have your magic. And I think the video visuals are also a really great, strong representation of that. I think the lyrics, I mean, they're so poignant for her and who she is. Like, she's a rare gem. She's a rare talent. We don't have any other Selena Gomez's out there. But I also think it's personal in that her relationship with Justin Bieber, what they shared was something so rare, right? I mean, they are probably, after Britney and Justin, one of the most iconic like young couples of our time and what they went through. Yeah, so I think there's kind of a double meaning there, and I think the visuals, like you see butterflies kind of coming out of her soul. Like, she's a magical
You've seen the music
person.
video too.
Right.
Yeah, you see her in a bubble in that music video, and I think that kind of depicts her and Justin being in a bubble throughout their relationship. So I think this is a strong title, album title, and I think it's a strong song, and I love the video too.
It's very empowering, especially because when I first listened to it, what I took away from it was this is someone who knows her value, knows her worth, and as she has grown up, not only in the spotlight, just in a personal sense too, obviously in her late 20s now, she knows that she's not going to settle for just anybody these days, especially after all that she has been through with relationships in particular.
I think you kind of nailed it on the head, and I think too this album is a combination of everything that she's been through the past 4 years and what she has learned and how she has grown from maybe some of those more toxic relationships that she found herself in.
And it's all in the art. I love it.
And she did say in this particular album, it's her most on it yet because she has been through a lot. Farai, let's talk about what we learned from the fan Q&A. What other tea did she spill about the inspo?
She was very talking about Use You to Love Me. Everyone was asking her about that, and she was more honest about like how she's been working on that song for a long time, like 2-3 years, because the Justin of it all and on and off all the time, and then he's with Haley. So then she was just saying, like, this was my moment to write my own story, and she got to do that through not just that song, but a lot of songs on the album. It's the most honest piece of work she's ever done, and she said that she's gonna keep going. Like, she's not gonna just take a break. She's gonna keep writing music in this decade. We can expect so much more, and she even said we can expect more, things aside from the album.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
Do you guys get the sense that there's more music then that didn't make this album, but she's ready to release it soon?
Yes. I think when any artist goes to record an album, you have so many songs that maybe don't necessarily fit with the theme of one piece of work, but you still have all these extra songs. I mean, Taylor Swift is a great example of that, and I think every other artist has so many songs, so I think what she said last night, what you just said, we're gonna get a lot more Selena.
There's so many more stories to tell, I feel like. Farai,
And she was in such a great mood. You could tell she was nervous and a little spastic, but like think about it, like her whole fan base is there, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like wondering if they're gonna like it or not. And she kept saying like, I don't care like if you like it or not, but she cared and she wanted people to like it, and they did. They loved it.
Well, it's also such a vulnerable moment for her. Her
Mm-hmm.
work, her emotions that is in this art is finally out there to the public. And you mentioned, Farai, the Justin of it all, and of course
Yes.
fans are already decoding lyrics. And there's a couple in particular that I noticed going through this album, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion, especially because you were there with Selena last night at the album release party. The song "Cut You Off." Oh God, there's the reaction right there. There's a lyric here, and it says, "Pull up to the mirror, staring at my face. Gotta chop all the extra weight I've been carrying for 1,460 days."
Okay. I think it's about Justin. 4 years, that equals 460 days, or 400, how many days? Wait, 1,460 days. That's 4 years, right?
So you think that she actually calculated how long she was with Justin, perhaps?
I mean, that's easy to do. I've calculated how many years I've been on this
You
earth.
must be good at math.
Yeah.
Like, someone check my math.
It's so funny because when I saw this lyric yesterday for the first time, I went and I actually did the math to see how many years this was, and it does come out to 4 years. But I sort of took it as how long it was for her to get to put out this album, right? Like she worked on it for 4 years, and I think it's her story of what she's been going through for 4 years, and you have kind of like the Bieber of it all, and her kind of getting to this more healthy, vulnerable place, and so that's sort of how I took it, like 4 years to lift the weight of what happened. Yeah.
It took her 4 years to finally move on and let go. Well, there is one song that a lot of fans are pretty certain is about Justin Bieber, and that's Vulnerable. Let's pull up the lyric here. She says, "If I show you all my demons and we dive into the deep end, would we crash and burn like every time before?"
Bieber.
Right?
It's
I mean, it
Bieber.
seems
How many
very
times have we
pointed.
watched them crash and burn?
I was gonna
And
say,
they've been along for the ride.
on again, off again. We've been chasing this for almost 4
years.
years,
Yes.
too.
It's so funny because last night when she was talking about this song, she did talk about what an emotional person she is, but she was also really big on how just because you're vulnerable, that doesn't make you a weak person, it actually makes you a stronger person. And this is something that she's also told E.T. so many times over the years, is like, there is nothing to be ashamed about if you are vulnerable. Like, you should be proud that you're in that emotional state. And I want you guys to actually take a look at this from 2017.
I'm really big on vulnerability. I think people are really scared to be honest with themselves, and strength is looked upon as, oh, I'm strong, I don't need anything, I can handle everything, and that's just not the truth.
I mean, you're right. She has opened up about how important it is for her to be open with her fans and in her music.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's paying off here because there's the Bieber of it all, but also you have to remember there's her health and there's also The Weeknd. And there is one song in particular I want to talk about where fans are speculating. It could be about The Weeknd. I'm still up in the air about it, but we're talking about Kinda Crazy. She says, "I think you're kind of crazy and not the good kind, baby, because you're acting super shady. You know it, been dodging phone calls lately, but still texting me, baby." So it's hard to say who is this actually about.
I mean, I know everyone wants to think it's about The Weeknd, but that could literally be anyone.
Anyone, right.
Anybody. How many times have we, like, met someone like that?
It could be Niall.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. We don't know.
We do know. He seems like the person that would call you back, though.
But I don't
Now
know.
listen to Haley Steinfeld's new song. But it could be about none of those guys. It could be about someone that we do not know of, because obviously Selena does live a very public life, and all eyes are on her dating life. Who's she with? Oh, she was spotted out with so-and-so. But there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors, and who knows? It could be
People
about
that we don't
someone
even
that
know
we
about.
don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Exactly.
could also be about two other people. Like maybe she was just inspired by something her friend was going through. I mean, other artists do that all the time. They look at what other people in their lives are going through and they're inspired by it, and that could be.
She was working a lot with Julia Michaels on this album, and she said they were like sitting down, just crying, tearing up before they even like wrote anything.
I do love that she co-wrote every song on this album.
Yeah.
So everything is very personal.
I'm gonna quickly take a hard left, and what if she's writing from the perspective of the guy, and she's the crazy one, dodging the phone calls, not texting back?
Plot
Okay.
twist. Jenny.
I applaud.
Right? She was going through her own thing. I'm just saying, you never know.
Honestly, good for her if that's the case.
Exactly.
You're right. We're always so like quick to jump and say it's the guy that's not calling the girl, but we don't know. We don't
It
know.
could be. Yeah,
Well, it's
you
'cause
never know.
she's Taylor adjacent, so you just never know.
Yeah.
And plus she's saying it's the good, not the good kind of crazy. Well, you know what? We all go through a phase of it.
Everyone has a little bit of crazy in them.
For sure.
You just have to pick the crazy that
That's
you
what
want.
makes us all so
Yes.
special.
Yeah.
All right,
guys,
Katie,
thank
Farai,
you
guys
so
so
much.
much. I'm gonna have this on heavy rotation, so make sure you guys check
And
out.
of course,
Selena
there's
Gomez's
more
Rare.
of Selena's album lyrics decoded up on etonline.com.